Hey, how you doing? Listen, my name is Willie Lawson. I'm a candidate for County Commission District 3, and this is part 3 of a series we're doing here to familiarize you with the new voting laws. Because there have been some changes, and we want to make sure that you have the correct information because it is important that we all get to participate in this process. It's important that we all have the correct information. It's important that we do everything we can to make sure there is no voter fraud. The most important thing that we have as citizens of this county, this city, this state, and this nation is our vote. We are able to choose our own leaders. And with our vote, we can do that. So we have to make sure that that vote stays sacred. That's all there is to it. So, and in that, we can have as much, if we need as much information as we can to make sure that we're doing the right thing, to make sure that our vote counts every single time. So that's what we're doing in this series. All right, listen, we're going to go on. The last series was about the change of address portion of the voter registration thing. It's a really big deal, and if you're getting to this first, you really want to go back and check out volume 2 because it's really important that you understand how that's going to be handled. The address changes at the polls is a little different than before, but it's important that you know how that's going to be handled. All right, now this video is going to hopefully wrap up the whole idea of the changes that are on your voter registration record. Hopefully we can get that done. So I'm going to get started. Address confirmation at the polls. You know, we used to go. I remember I used to go because I vote in Temple Crest, and then they would ask me what my address was. Well, the new law is this: the poll worker can no longer use the address on the voter's presented identification to ask the voter to confirm his or her address, or to challenge the voter's eligibility to vote in that precinct. In particular, no address-related questions may be asked of a voter whose address on the identification matches the address on the record, including having to recite it or do anything. Okay? If your address on your identification matches the address on the record, you're good. Okay. For all other voters, a poll worker could still recite the address on the record to the voter and ask the voter if that address has been changed. So let's say your address has been changed. You moved to the east side and it changed. Now they're going to ask you if your address has changed. Okay? They can still do that if your ID is different. Now, at this point, here's what's important. Again, for all other voters, a poll worker could still recite the address on the record to the voter to ask whether the address has been changed. It is then the voter's choice, is then your choice whether to respond, if at all, and to ask or volunteer any further information about the address. This provision expands upon, but primarily supersedes, the provision for address confirmation in the polling place procedure manual. Okay, and they're going to revise all that a little later. Okay, now that's the big change. The poll worker can no longer use the address on the voter's presented ID to ask the voter to confirm his or her address. Okay, or to challenge the voter's eligibility. Okay. All right. Party name changes, party or name changes allows a registered voter to change party affiliation or to make a name change by written means other than the voter registration application, provided the notice is signed and contains the person's date or birth or voter registration number. Okay. You can still make those changes. Okay. That's fine. Voter information cards. Now, I think in Hillsborough County we were already there. I think in Hillsborough County we're already there, but around the state, not everybody. It adds the polling place address to the voter information card and requires supervisors of elections to comply with this requirement and to respect all with respect to all voter information cards issued after August 1st, 2012. Okay, it requires voter information card to be issued each time a polling place address changes. Okay, so when you get your voter registration card in the mail, if you haven't registered to vote, it should have on the back where you are to vote, depending on the address that's on the front. Okay, so there shouldn't ever be any mix-up about where you're to vote. Okay, and what I would do, and if you haven't voted before, because you're new to the process, or you're new to the country, or you just haven't registered and you just haven't done it, make sure you hold on to that card. Okay, make sure you hold on to that card because it has all the information you need on it. There you go. All right, listen, thanks so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. Listen, again, my name is Willie Lawson. I'm a candidate for County Commission District 3. And you want more information about my campaign, you can go to www.votelawson2012.com. You can find out what I'm all about. But until I see you again, have a fantastic Florida day. Bye-bye now.